Alright, here we go. Didn't feel like filming, but I still haven't bought a better camera, but I felt like doing something I don't want to do. Train that part of my brain, just do it. The gym was kind of shitty today, in my head a little bit, but no negative thinking, right? So, yeah, I'm, let's try a little bit of AC here. Make this video about, I don't know, in a kind of negative headspace, and so of course I'm going to talk about something negative, but it is just how I'm feeling, and I want to just be consistent, even if it sounds like shit. I can look back at this, but I had some thoughts about, listening to some podcasts and just kind of where I'm at in my life and what I'm seeing right now, and essentially, I don't know, I think there's I kind of want to talk about feminism and how it was a failed experiment, and it's and dating, and essentially how being a piece of shit is acceptable, especially for women. This is not like a woman hating thing. This is something, again, ultimately it falls on men. If we don't put up with that, i.e. you have multiple women that are playing games, stop it. Just never text them again. That's not how, if someone isn't treating you or listening to or accepting what you say, I think it's also the ghosting epidemic. If more people just say, I don't like how you're treating me, at least that someone, the other party will have the bad feeling, assuming they're not a sociopath. They will go, oh, that person didn't like that. At least that thing will occur to them. But now with social media, it's so easy to just whatever is convenient for you at the time. And I think it's up to men to say, stop that. Are you getting and yeah, I this is something I should probably start doing. I have a few texts with women that don't we're talking, they're like, I'm interested, and then it's all of a sudden ghosting. It's like, when do you want to hang out? Do you want to come over to my place? Do you want to do whatever? Do you want to go see a movie? And it's just nothing. And sometimes they don't even read it anymore. It's so I think I'm gonna actually go through all my texts and be like, and be like, hey, so I don't appreciate how you're treating me, and that'll be the last text. So at least it's not just ghost, and so you can at least, anger is a tool, and there's so much complacency with and conflation of being a good person and not hurting someone's feelings. Sometimes people need to get their feelings hurt. And in a society where you're not allowed to be angry, especially as a man, and say, fuck you, this is bullshit. The threat of violence for men, that used to be a thing that it still kind of keeps other men in line, but there is a biological thing. Men are bigger than women. There's always a threat of violence. Again, don't put words in my mouth or misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's what masculinity is. It's competency. There should be a little bit of a threat of violence. And when we have completely gotten rid of that as society, there are situations where you need to punch someone in the face. Punch a man in the face if he slaps your girl, whatever. That. There is, and the threat of it. I know that's a tangent, but everything I talk about is tangents. I just go off on the trail, but yeah, I backing all the way up. There's so much brainwashing. I don't know if it's fixable. I think, again, it's up to men. I think women are very smart creatures. They're very, very emotionally intelligent creatures. They drink the Kool-Aid of having it all. You can sleep with whoever you want, you can have the job, they make the money now, it's like everything, and they have carte blanche, but I just think it doesn't end well. Like, I don't buy into this shit anymore. I've seen it. I think we are heading down a very dangerous path of women just all of a sudden going, oh shit, you mean money and lust and pleasure? Same thing for men, but women have a clock, and we're gonna see. I mean, I'm about to be 36. If eventually the society makes a turn and the pendulum goes the other way, which I think it can, I think it's going to be complicated, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, society, at the end of the day, society changing at X amount of speed has zero to do with a woman's biological clock. In other words, in 10 years, I'll still be, I mean, I wouldn't want to have kids at 46, but I can. And a woman can't. And I feel like I'm right at that age and that generation where, like, that's where we're gonna start seeing the most pain in our society. And it works both ways. Men are men, I think by and large, at least I'll speak for me, derive our meaning and our worth through support and protection of a family and a woman. And you know, that's why we buy a fucking nice car, we do whatever, it's historically anyway, and you know, to attract and court and peacock and all that stuff for women. And that's our, and like that, it's fucking bad that we have this paradox in society. And I think we're done. It's time to step up as men. Don't put up with any bullshit. You are devaluing yourself. I think it's in women's nature to test men, and I think that goes off the rails with manipulation. We go too far, you know, when we don't have a moral compass, we don't have people being held accountable, and you put bad childhoods and all that, it just exacerbates it. It just becomes a circle, because then you need for attention, external validation, blah. But I think when we don't have, like, people being held accountable, like, you know, that little thing that women do, where they test a man, and I think some women take that too far, and they I mean, you see it, like, male suicide has always been crazy higher than women's, and now it's, not only is it, I think it's going to get worse. I think we're going to have 4X, 5X. It's going to be more and more men killing themselves, and you see women, I mean, it's online, but I see a lot of man up and bullshit like that. It's like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you want men to be sensitive, or you want men to man up. Like, it's and it's always been, you know, that's always been a very, you know, like, razor's edge notion. You know, you want a man who's at the end of the day is savage and can protect you, but not so savage that he ends up killing you. There's where the sensitivity comes in, the emotional intelligence, the caring, the empathy. I think that's really that mammalian brain, that cave woman brain. And in a society with technology and all this shit, like, I think it just needs to be talked about constantly. I think that's the solution. People are afraid to talk about things. Talk about it. The more people that talk about it, and I think specifically, men, women, doesn't really matter. Just the truth. And so, I don't know, this is just kind of I started not with no motivation to talk, but here I am getting all amped up, and now I'm actually creating passion out of nowhere, I guess. I guess that's why I turned on the camera. But anyway, yeah, turn on the camera, talk to the world. Get, you know, your social circle seeing your video, whatever, like, fuck them if they judge you. Get your feelings out there. Speak the freaking truth. There's a lot of, I think that's the most evil thing in our society today is, and I've been saying it for fucking years, is the virtue signaling, like Jekyll and Hyde dynamic of I mean, that's the devil to me. That's pretending and creating, you know, a society where your mask is a good person and underneath is just darkness and bad and treating people bad, but in front of everybody else, you know, you're a good person. You do check all the right boxes, and that's bullshit, and that's cowardly, and that's where I think men need to step up, because you don't need to be a Tate or any of these guys. Like, any guy, like, at this point, just freaking, let's park here, like, any truth that you can convey is paramount. Like, just like, in the same way, smiling at somebody, you know, you don't know what people are going through, and just smiling at somebody and just being vulnerable and treating people with grace is just exponential. It's a butterfly effect, right? It just especially with social media now, like, just a smile, in the same way a smile can just make someone's day and then make someone else's day and just spiral. Saying the truth is the same thing, and we can't be BSing ourselves anymore. Like, this delusional society of, it's just cowardice, and we enabled it. There was a point during COVID where people, I'm not going to get into the whole political thing, but at the end of the day, we know what it was. We know that people didn't step up when they should have stepped up, and I'm guilty of that. I chose to party, and I acted like the party was never going to end, and for me, that set the precedent for a lot of pain and yeah, a lot of pain. But the point is, yeah, I think I could see it, like, to the degree that people accepted what they were told is now permeated into what we have post-COVID. I'm going to end this video here soon, but I just want, as I continue this tangential rant, I don't know, I think the more people that stepped up during COVID, and it's not even like about right or wrong. It's about working a muscle of saying no. That's all I'm talking about. I don't care what side. I mean, I think we all know what side I'm talking about, but at the end of the day, it's like working a muscle in your brain and training it, because this is how societies fall apart, is people just go, oh, well, it can't get any worse, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm not going to do that. The next time they do shit like that, I am dying on the hill of no. And back to my point is, I think for those of us that, to the degree that some of us stepped up, I think that wasn't for nothing. That was a show of character. And it spirals out. If let's put it this way: if 0 people said anything about COVID or had any disagreements, I think, if you're getting conspiratorial, I think we would be far worse off. We would already be in, like, passport land. It's a slow progression of the zeitgeist of society. If people just go, yeah, it's fine, whatever, and we have a slave mentality, and that's just what we're going to be. And I think we kind of already are like that. And man, like, people don't even care. And it's hard. It's hard to, like, create meaning out of nothing, but you have to. Like, I don't know, music, something, working out, just doing this. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing this. Like, I can't live like this, where this stupid fucking autopilot going on here with the drugs and the bullshit that it means nothing. Like, no connecting with people, no honesty, no courage. Anyway, I'm gonna turn off the video now. I'm glad I made this video, because I really didn't want to. I don't even know. This is what's on my mind. I usually, work out and I think of ideas, and then I'll have like a base level, but this was just like, I kind of feel hopeless today, but I'm gonna keep going. Again, no negativity. Yeah, it's or no spiral negativity, and then just, you might as well be dead if you're doing that. So anyway, thanks if anyone's still watching. Hey, appreciate the support. I'm working on this. I'm gonna buy a better setup, I promise. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Take care.